are live. Real takes over Faith Debate Sbtalksports Sean Webb in the building. Happy Friday. Before we get into it, shout out to the sponsor, Swift Energy. Go to swiftenergy.gg. Use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order every time you order. Sean, how you feeling? Happy Friday. Sorry, guys, we missed the show. I had a birthday dinner, and I didn't make it home in time to do the stream, so I'm sorry about that. So we're going to catch up on a lot of things that happened during that time. But first, Sean, how you feeling?
Doing good, man. How you doing, man? Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday. You too. I'm doing pretty good, man. Friday, nice Friday, chill day, chill with the family. Can't complain at all, man. So, yeah. A lot of things have happened, Sean, since last show. Obviously, Tiffany, I haven't really seen Tiffany around, ever since the Ravens got dropped, but we could definitely get into that. Obviously, I felt a lot of way about the Lions selling. But since we Friday, we got to get into what is the new going on. We got to get into the new. The new is that the NBA All-Star Reserves were announced. With the NBA All-Star Reserves being announced, which was a nice All-Star class. As I'm pulling up the All-Star Reserves, I had accidentally closed it coming back in the room. NBA All-Star roster. But names that stuck out for me while I pull up this list, Tyrese Maxey, first-timer, Paulo Banchero. I know we did a prediction for it. Did you get a chance to write them down, or no, do you remember on top of the head what we predicted?
I wrote mine down because I wrote mine down before the show. So I had it last night while they were announcing. I was going through to see how accurate I was. So I had 6 out of the 7 reserves in the East correct. Okay. I missed on Miles Turner. They had Julius Randle as a reserve, who's not going to play, obviously, because of injury. And
your pick can still happen though.
Could still happen, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna have 5 out of 7 in the West, right? No Sacramento Kings chosen as All-Star reserves, which
is crazy.
Drives me insane. So yeah, so that was it for me. Yeah.
Okay, so the full roster goes. Obviously, we got the starters: Giannis, Tatum, Embiid, Halliburton, Lillard for the East. The reserves goes as Jalen Brunson, first timer, well deserved. Tyrese Maxey, first timer, well deserved. Donovan Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, Julius Randle, Paulo Banchero, well deserved, first timer. Then for the West starters are LeBron, KD, Jokic, Luka, SGA. Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, and Paul George to round out the Western Conference. Okay, but before we get into the snubs, who was your biggest surprise who made it, and who was the one where you thought iffy on it?
So I didn't have any surprises in the East. When I was doing my, predictions, I thought, I tried to do it based on who I thought the coaches would pick. But obviously with the Knicks having the success they've had the last couple of weeks, they're on a 9-game win streak now. Not surprising they added a second All-Star from the Knicks. I knew Jalen Brunson was going to make it. If Jalen Brunson didn't make it, something terrible happened. But Julius Randle, is their second best player. And I made it. The West was much more surprising to me because, again, I thought coaches value winning. And so, when you have the 5th seed in the West with legit All-Stars, one in particular, in my mind, not have a single All-Star representative, it's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. And again, if you are a 6th seed or a 9th seed and you have 2 All-Stars and one of those is one is coming off the bench, that's a joke to me. So I don't know what West coaches were doing. Perhaps they were voting with their feet. I don't know. Well, all I'm saying is, that's an absolute. And again, there's snubs every year. We get it, right? We know there's snubs. We understand that's the nature of All-Star voting, but not to have one person from the Kings.
Yeah, that's bad. It's a bonus leading the league in rebounders right now. I would presume he still is.
Yeah, Sabonis is 20, 13, and 8. He's basically almost in a triple double on 61%.
No way.
61% shooting, 45% from three.
Right. So
All career.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. He ain't no way. Sabonis ain't make the All-Star team.
And I'm sorry, SB. Here's the kicker. He has not missed a game.
And then we're gonna talk about the missing game thing too later in the show. But how does that not factor in? I'm confused because I'm confused. I don't understand how a guy who puts up numbers like that, his team is winning, and he don't make it. You got to at least have. If you don't want to put both Kings on there, that's cool. But one of them have to make it. And honestly, De'Aaron Fox is an all-star caliber player, but it's kind of harder at the guard position in the Western Conference. But the big man slot, I don't see like Anthony Davis. It's really Anthony Davis. And then you could argue, over Devin Booker, Paul George for the guard position, maybe. But Carl Towns, he should have made it. The Timberwolves are one of the best teams in the West right now. I'm sorry. I'm taking Sabonis over Anthony Davis. I have to this year. I'm sorry. I know the NBA All-Star Game is a popularity contest. Everybody, but you have to reward winning, and then you can't get nobody else a chance to be a star or get as popular as the next man if you don't put them on where the most casual fan base will watch is the All-Star Weekend. You get to see him on the big stage. Sacramento has a great fan base, for them, but they're not globally as a team that everybody like. They're not like the Lakers. They're not like the Knicks or the Bulls, where just the location alone will give you to superstardom level. So for a guy to put up numbers like that, it's a travesty. It's starting to get to the point of where even they're disrespected again. It is bad. So obviously, me and you both probably agree that Sabonis is probably the biggest snub. But besides Sabonis, because I got a list of names of people who could have made it. Who else do you think is the biggest snub? Because I think by far that's a travesty. A guy who leads the league rebounds, he ain't got to win a record. Almost averaging a triple-double. Y'all love the triple-double. He gives you all the numbers that you need. But people will say this list got Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, De'Aaron Fox, Wembanyama. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's my pick right here. I'm surprised Scotty Barnes didn't make it. I'm shocked on Scotty Barnes. Thingoon, James Harden.
Well, let me ask you a question. Because for me, Sabonis should have made it, and I'm with you. I would have taken Anthony Davis off. I would not have voted for Anthony Davis as an all-star this year. Not because Anthony Davis ain't a great player, but because of Lakers having basically fighting for a playing spot right now. So I'm not rewarding two guys from a team that's fighting for the play.
Agreed.
So if you saying Scotty Barnes should have made it in the East, who you taking off?
Julius Randle.
Okay.
Julius Randle easily. No question. It's like some salute. Salute. I gotta get rid of Julius Randle. But then also here's the top 5. Those are the couple names. I didn't get to the 5. Number 5, Rudy Gobert. That's kind of tough.
I think again it was gonna come down to Rudy or Cat. One of those two. Like you said, Minnesota's basically been the number 1 seed in the West most of the season, 1 or 2 with OKC. So yeah, I think it was gonna come down to one of those two, of course.
This name shocked me, but he is balling out this year right now. But as an all-star, I don't agree with this one. They say Derek White.
See, yeah, and again, I don't think I know Boston's having a great season, but there's not a team that I said, oh yeah, that team without question should have 3 all-stars.
Yeah, no team.
And again, excuse me, I know Derek White's playing well. I probably would have made a bigger argument for Porzingis if they were going to get an all-star. But
make that more sense. Yeah,
I don't think this is the year where any team should have had 3 all-stars.
Yep. All-stars have been dumbed down with the media votes included. Yeah, but the coaches be picking these picks too, bro.
The coaches pick the reserves, y'all. So this has nothing to do with who the coaches pick. Has nothing to do with the media vote. Media, fan, and player vote. That's for the starters. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it said, did they win the midseason tournament? Does that not count for nothing? No, it does not count for nothing. It don't count. It don't count. Salute, Jeff. Next on the list, Trae Young. I'm cool with Trae Young. I'm not making it. Everybody already think I'm a Trae Young hater. I don't care about none of the stats he put. He put all them stats up. And the Atlanta Hawks are the 10th seed right now. No. 10th seed. No, we're good on that.
You know
Number
what?
two.
Can I say this real quick about Trae Young? So, long time ago, for those of y'all who don't know, Eddie Murphy was on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Murphy killed on Saturday Night Live. He basically saved Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live was dying. He saved it.
Mm-hmm.
He left, becomes a movie star. So for like the next few years, every black male comedian they bring on, they are like, this could be the next Murphy. Well, that's how I feel about the Hawks with Trae Young. Like everybody says, oh yeah, Trae Young's gonna be the next Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
No. It didn't work out.
Yeah,
it didn't work out.
No. And so Chris Rock famously says, when he got to SNL, Lauren Michaels, the executive producer, said, you're gonna be the next Eddie Murphy. And then a year later, Lauren Michaels is like, no, you're not. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Trae Young. Like,
agreed.
Yeah, you're gonna be the next Steph Curry. No, you're not.
I love the other guy they had too. Before I say what I'm going to say, I love the kid. Remember they had the Trae Young, gonna be Curry, Cam Reddish is gonna be Clay. They built their team like the Warriors. That it didn't work out like that. It didn't work out like that. It didn't work out. No, you're not. Not close. Not close. Number two, Laurie Marketing.
Marketing is interesting. Marketing is interesting because he was an all-star last year, deservedly so. I just think again, it's just
tough. It's tough. Somebody gonna get left out. And obviously, number one of this list, who we both already agree with, Domantas Sabonis is the biggest snub on this list. Number one. I'm sorry. All I'm asking is this, right? This is my question. Why do you have to have two Lakers players on the All-Star team? What did Anthony Davis done this year to be an All-Star over a guy like Sabonis? I truly want to know. I don't. He's not playing better. The Lakers don't have a better record as a team than the Kings. He's not playing individually better. Just LeBron gonna get voted in regardless to LeBron is LeBron. You got your Laker representation for the All-Star team. I get, like we talked about last time, the All-Star game is a popularity contest. If the league wants to keep everything legitimate and not being a joke, you have to put the right guy in. Like, of course, if it was like everything was close and it was empty, say if like the Lakers was like the 6th seed, 5th seed, and they both around the same range, and they numbers are kind of the same, whereas like one guy's actually going crazy, then I'm cool with you putting a more popular guy in because it makes sense. It's an all-star game. Right. But it's 90 day, not even close. It's 90 day, not even close. But let's get to the positives of this. The first timers. How you feel about the first timers getting? We got Jalen Brunson, Paolo Banchero, Tyrese Maxey, and I don't think it's nobody on the West first time.
Nobody on the West first time, yeah.
Nobody. Go ahead.
How
you feel about the first timers?
No, I think they got them all right. I had no issue with the East. Jalen Brunson's story is great. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Think about it, and he's been proven the doubt is wrong. And again, I don't know if he can be your best player and you win a championship, but that dude can compete every single night. And he does it, and he doesn't do it looking for fanfare and all this other stuff. He just comes, he hoops, and he's about coming to put in work. So he absolutely deserved it. Tyrese Maxey, at the Sixers do they miss James Harden?
No,
not at all.
Sometimes you get addition by subtraction is better. Sometimes you got to move people out the way and stop. And this 76ers is the perfect example I want the NBA to start moving towards. Addition by stop holding on to these people for their names. Let these new people blossom and be the new stars. If James Harden was still there, Tyrese Maxey would never had a year like this. They had to take that chance, or James Harden had to do something dumb. Sometimes good things happen in bad situations. Because if James Harden didn't want out of Philly, or Daryl Morey didn't sign him to the extension, we never would have got this version of Tyrese Maxey, which we all knew he could possibly do. Sometimes you got to throw him in the water and let him sink or swim. Let's see. Can you swim with the shark? And he went out there swimming like a dolphin.
Yeah, and I hate it because my squad had a chance to draft Tyrese Maxey, and we didn't, and we've been paying for it ever since. So, but no, shout out to him. He's about to get that max deal this offseason. Well earned, well deserved. Yeah, he definitely deserved his first All-Star nod. And Paolo, I'm saying this. I know it's early. Paolo to me is a better Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah. Play smarter, play unselfish, smarter. Yeah. Now, can he get in his bag, in that scoring bag like Melo? I don't know. We got to work on that.
Yeah, he's still got some work to put in, obviously, but it's a good look for him. Hopefully, he'll want to stay and continue to grow his career in Orlando because that franchise needs it. But this is good for them.
I wouldn't be shocked if Orlando loses a superstar. Probably end up, how Orlando superstars go, man. You blossom, turn to a superstar Orlando, then you go to the Lakers. That's just how that's the story. Any Orlando star, you blossom in Orlando, then you go on to the Lakers. That's it. Orlando development, the Lakers turn you to a super mega star.
Yeah.
But for all three picks, though, for me, I think they got them right on the head. Of course, I would have loved to sneak Kobe White in there as a Bulls fan, but I know it was too many guys ahead of him to get to that point. Maybe we could possibly sneak one of those guys in with the injuries. But Paolo Banchero, I'm very high on Paolo Banchero. I think at some point in time in years and we're going to be talking about him as a top 5, top 10 player in the league. Jalen Brunson. Well, let me go to Maxey. Like I said, this traction with Maxey. Great young player, actually getting him a chance to blossom. We always knew the kid could do it. So we go see how the farther the Sixers go. It'd be crazy if they go farther without James Harden. But the Jalen Brunson situation is different. Now, I could be the one person that I can admit, and a lot of us have done this, and if you're saying you didn't, you're wrong. When the Knicks signed Jalen Brunson to that money, everybody, including me, said this is probably the worst contract signing ever. How you going to pay a secondary guy, top guy money? Boy, was I wrong. That man went to New York and took over. In New York, if you ball hard, they're going to love you for it. And New York is like a blue-collar town. So Jalen Brunson proved all the doubters wrong. And people still doubted him wrong when they said that Jalen Brunson had a bad playoff series. And then that second round, he was averaging like 30. I thought it was 30 points. It was like, yeah, people don't be watching. But my question is to you, Sean. Is this, like you said, you already said that Jalen Brunson probably couldn't lead your team to a championship. That's true. We both agree with that. But my question to you is this. Is this something legit, or is this just Isaiah Thomas in Boston all over again?
I think it's legit for the Knicks.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Is it legit? Is it legit for winning a championship? No, I don't think so.
Talking about the only person missing is Luka. He got Kyrie, man.
Yeah, So, and when you really think about it, right? He's only making like $26 million a year.
Yeah, because it went up, so the contract don't even look as bad no more now.
Yeah, but
the money went.
Yeah, but listen, I just had to deal with, as a Heat fan, watching a guy get a 3-year, $90 million deal who did nothing. So I would have kicked in that extra 16 in a year for Jalen Brunson. But I think the reality of it is that it is all, we always talk about, right, SB? Sometimes it's about situations. Sometimes it's about where you get a chance to grow. It's the difference in Tracy McGrady in Toronto and Tracy McGrady in Orlando. Right? Get to a situation where he was allowed to grow and to really spread his wings. And I think, that's what we're seeing with Jalen Brunson in New York. He is getting the chance to spread his wings and be who he is. Well, we saw flashes of it in Dallas. Remember when they lost the playoffs? and he was out there.
He went off.
Yeah, he
going off.
So, to act surprised that he's doing this, I think is a little funny. But I think obviously the Knicks and their history and how they screwed things up badly for the last 30 years. Last 25 years. See them having the success that they're having.
About 30, yeah.
I mean,
my whole life, I haven't seen the Knicks do anything special.
They were in the finals in '99. I got to give them that. They were in the finals in '99. So
what happened in that final, Sean?
I mean, they were, for one thing, they were badly injured. And they were
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so and they were playing, Tim Duncan, young Tim Duncan,
young Duncan.
They had nothing for him. So
you say he needs one more star to help, but what star is available? And what are you willing to give up with the Knicks? The Knicks is actually a deep roster, and that OG Anunoby trade is looking more valuable by the day. But I'm like, who do you give up? Do you want to mess the camaraderie of the team? Because everybody can say give up Julius Randle, but what star is available? And then how you going to fulfill that 4 position that you're going to be missing out on? So I just think, like, as much as everybody hate Randle fits that team dynamic and he balled out.
Yeah, and to me, when they get Mitchell Robinson back,
that's going to
be who they are. Are they better than the Celtics? No, but I think they could definitely give Milwaukee a run. They could certainly give Philly a run.
They could beat the Cavs. Well, they did already. They
did already. So so they can use the conference finals team if they're fully healthy. I think the key for them to be fully healthy, and Julius Randle has to play like Julius Randle plays in the regular season in the postseason, because that's the other part.
If he can get that down pat, I'm sorry, Sean. I think we would have seen the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals if Julius Randle would just help play a little bit like how he played the regular season.
Yeah, but he don't. So he
don't. So obviously, Sean, the NBA did a 65-game rule, where at 65 games, if you don't play 65 games more, you can't get no awards. A lot of NBA players are giving backlash to it because a lot of NBA players have missed a lot of games, and now coming into the trade deadline week or
I think we lost SB, y'all. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So, talking about the 65-game awards threshold is likely here to stay despite recent blowback.
Okay, I froze. I froze. Okay, but so a lot of guys, pretty much the 65-game rule, a lot of guys are complaining now because they're realizing coming into the All-Star weekend break, dang, for the rest of the season, I can't miss no more than 6 games, or I can't get an award. Now everybody's saying it's stupid. Tyrese Halliburton came out and said something about it. Draymond Green came out and said something about it. I believe Joel Embiid, which coincidentally, I think he's the guy right now. Joel Embiid can't miss no more than 6 games, but he's out the MVP race. My quick opinion on it, I'm going to let you go. I don't think it's stupid. I think it's great because the whole reason why this rule came to play, because a lot of players were sitting out during games. You can't tell me you playing less than half the season or half a season, you telling me that you deserve MVP. You're not going to play 50 games and get an MVP. You're not going to play 60 games and get an MVP. 60 is kind of pushing it. That's why I said 65 was a great number. 60 is 82 games in the season. You can at least play 65.
Right.
Come on now, it's not that big of a deal. I just think players are feeling the pressure because all the games they've been missing. Now it's like, dang, it's All-Star weekend. I got to play the rest of the season. So remember that game that's in the end of April where players usually sit out because they got a secure spot? Now if you want that first spot team, now you got to play that game. Oh, then now you want to get that MVP, now you got to play that game. That's on y'all. Y'all miss games early. Y'all should have just stocked out early, unless you just got hurt, stockpiled early, then yeah. So I think this just the players just getting backlash off their own doing. So I'm with the 65-game rule. I'm sticking with it. You could maybe argue me down and drop it to 60, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, listen, this is not about guys who get hurt and are actually hurt, right? They didn't put the rule in for those guys.
Yep.
They put the rule in for the guys who were exploiting
Kawhi Leonard.
Exactly. Or let's take it even further. The guys who were basically like, hey, get me out of here, and I ain't playing till you get me out of here.
Yep.
The James Hardens or the Ben Simmons of the world. So I think the rule is basically like, listen, we're going to reward guys who come to work. It's an unintended consequence that, guys who get hurt are obviously and legitimately hurt, obviously, miss out. But listen, you can't just say, hey, listen, you were hurt, or you legitimately hurt, so we'll give you a pass. But the guy who decided they weren't going to play, a few nights a week because they wasn't feeling like it or just needed a night, we're not going to reward them. So, that's the thing about rules. It's generally blanket across the board, right? And again, I think it matters, right? There's nothing worse than working somewhere. You the person who comes to work, and then you got a coworker who don't come to work, but y'all get the same merit increase. Like what we're talking about.
You get employee of the month. You're like, bro, what? He been here.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that stuff matters, and ultimately, it's not going anywhere. Not anytime soon. And also, and this is where I think NBA players have to think about it from the business perspective. The league is getting ready to negotiate a new media rights deal. You want your money? Shut up about the 65 game thing. Come to work. All out. Make sure you're making sure the entertainment product is there. Quality product is there. So when it comes time for them to negotiate this new media rights deal, you'll get your money.
Yeah, because everybody want their money, but they don't want to come to work to go get it. You got to go to work to pick up your check. You got to go pick up the money. The money's sitting there, but you got to go there and be there to get it. And the crazy part about it is people still sitting out too, which is crazy. Joel Embiid had the situation where 10 minutes before the game, he said he wasn't playing. That man they played in Denver. He ducked Jokic crazy. The Jokic dunk is crazy.
Now apparently he might have been legitimately hurt, but
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
10 minutes before the game?
Yeah. 10 minutes he tried to warm up. They say he wanted to play. He was going to go try to play through it, whatever. He might be a different scenario. We understand his injury history makes him a unique scenario. But the fact is that this 65 game rule is not going anywhere. And, listen, do what you got to do to get yourself ready to play. If you get injured, legitimately hurt, that's different. But if you just sore or you just tired,
get out there,
man. Stop it,
man. Get on a minute restriction and then get out there, man. Come on, man. Now, Sean, this is my question, right? Because we just talked about the 65 games, the players complaining about that, right? We just talked about how, which is crazy that the league is pushing that let's stick to this rule when you got a guy who should be an all-star guy who ain't missed a game, and maybe, just maybe, if you would have put Sabonis over AD and brought up the fact that he hasn't missed a game, that would make that rule stick more. But then you double back down and you get a team in a play-in spot, 2 all-stars, which is confusing to me. So now I'm confused from the point of like, does the NBA even care about winning at all? Like, you don't reward like the top seeded guys for MVPs. Like, we done had a multiple like 5th, 6th seed MVPs over 1 seed guys. We see guys with lower seeds get rewarded more. We're seeing it now with the All-Star break. So honestly, truly, does the NBA even really care about winning? Because it don't seem like it to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question, SB. Let me follow up by asking this question. Did the NBA ever care about winning?
Yeah, I think so. I think they. I'm gonna say this though. They cared about who won though more. Like when they won, it's about who won. Like when the Lakers was winning, it was all about winning. When the Bulls won, it was all about winning. It took them a minute to love San Antonio, but then once they became like the dynasty Popovich, they started getting love. They didn't like the Detroit Pistons winning. They hated that championship. Who else? What championship I can think off the top of the head that the league didn't like? I know that Detroit,
like the Bad Boys winning.
No, they didn't like the Bad Boys winning. Bad Boys, no. And they won back to back. That was even worse because everything they represented to them. So I say 50-50. I'm going to say this. My answer to that is it depends on who won because they care about how much revenue or if they cared about how much revenue that team was going to bring in or if that team went and helped push any narrative that they were trying to push around that time.
Right. Well, I think that's where it becomes interesting, right? Does the NBA care about winning? I'm going to say no. I think the NBA cares about ratings. If winning leads to ratings, they care. Let's go back to 2015, 2016. When the Warriors went on that run and won 73 games, the all-time NBA record, the NBA cared. They were must TV because the whole thing was, are they going to break that 96 record? Right?
Right.
But let's fast forward. The night they had the chance to break the record was also the same night that Kobe Bryant was playing his last regular season game. Which one you think got more views?
The Kobe Bryant game.
The Kobe Bryant game. The Kobe Bryant game. Right. That game wasn't about winning. They weren't fighting for a playoff spot. The Warriors were about to make history.
And nobody cared. It's Kobe Bryant last game.
It's Kobe Bryant last game.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy that I just said, but I'm not gonna lie. I was watching Kobe Bryant last game too. I watched Kobe Bryant last game.
Yeah.
I watched Kobe Bryant. I'm not gonna lie. I watched Kobe. I never watched Kobe last game over that record.
Right.
Which is crazy.
So what does the NBA care about? The NBA cares about
Touche. You got me with that one. I ain't gonna lie. You got me with that. That was a perfect example. I ain't gonna lie. You got me with that one. That was touche. That was touche. Because I was like, I can't go off a whole tangent like that. And then when the moment happened, which one you gonna do? Like, because then now think about it. What if we get to a situation where it's LeBron last year? And as I said, if he stay on the Lakers and how they roster slowly depleting, they might not be competing. So just say if like LeBron is on the outskirts of the playoffs, it's his last game. And let's say the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics on the cusp of breaking the Warriors record.
Right.
I think we could all guarantee that LeBron's finals game will be the one that get watched over the Boston Celtics breaking the Warriors record.
Right.
Easily. Yeah.
Right. So and again, that would require LeBron to say, this is my last season. I'm picking it up beforehand. So you know what the circumstances and the stakes are. Right. Because again, if there's still a chance that he might come back the next year, it'll be of course, media fodder and the conjecture about it for him, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it will require him to come out and say, this is going to be my last game. Now, I'm a firm believer, knowing the LeBron that I know, and I've watched for 21 years or 21 plus years in the NBA, more than that if you include high school, he will announce that it's going to be his last season.
Oh, yeah, no, he having a farewell too, for sure. He ain't going to Tim Duncan it. No. Yeah, LeBron gonna go out. He gonna want that farewell tour. LeBron gonna want that.
He gonna want what Paul Pierce wanted and thought he was gonna, but didn't get because nobody cares about Paul Pierce.
What you think? You Kobe and something? You they don't love you like that. They don't love you, Paul. They don't love you like that, Paul. Okay. Speaking of a guy who don't get a lot of love and hate, real quick, let's talk to Mr. Kevin Durantula. Wants to be in the GOAT conversation, or he was like he couldn't understand like why he wasn't in the GOAT conversation. So, Sean, if you want to proceed to explain to Kevin Durant, or what was your thoughts of when you heard him say this? Like he should be in the GOAT conversation. I was like, oh, he wants to be, or he don't understand why he not.
So what it tells me is that Kevin Durant is not as smart as I thought he was.
He can hoop though, but
Yeah, he can hoop. Yeah, he can hoop.
In the words of Rick James, delusion is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we know you can hoop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you in the GOAT conversation. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to talk about the GOAT scorer conversation, that's a whole different conversation.
I'm listening now. You see, you woke me up with that. I'm listening. I'm like, okay.
Whole different conversation there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know he's in the GOAT scorer conversation.
No doubt.
Right? We know that. But it's a lot of guys in the GOAT scorer conversation. George Gervin is in the GOAT scorer conversation.
Carmelo
Anthony's in the GOAT scorer conversation.
Mm-hmm.
R. King is in the GOAT scorer conversation.
Yeah. Kobe's
Mike. In the GOAT scorer conversation, right? We know there's a lot of guys in the GOAT scorer conversation. But the GOAT conversation is far more than just scoring.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of things.
Also, and here's the question, because here's the problem. This is year 17 for Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't in the conversation by year 17, you ain't getting in it.
Yeah, but you ain't in it. It's over with, bro.
Right. If you've been friends with her for 5 years and you ain't crossed the line, you ain't crossing the line.
It's over with, bro. It's over with. Pack it up.
So worrying about why you ain't in the GOAT conversation and that you want to be in the GOAT conversation, hey, I want to be a billionaire. Ain't but so many of those out here.
Mm-hmm. Can't get it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I'm like, it did even with him saying is like, what have you done in your career to put you above beyond? Like, one of the key components of being in the GOAT conversation is something he cannot do in his career, something he never wanted to do in his career. That's why he went to the Warriors. You have to be able to lead a team and lead men to the next level of winning a championship. Jordan did it. LeBron did it. Kareem did it. That's why those guys are in the 3 GOAT conversation, guys. You can add Magic in that conversation. Even add Kobe, who had, if he were in the conversation, you can add Shaq, Duncan. You know, I'm just saying, these guys that are ahead of Durant, you know what I'm saying? But they did things that if you tried to make a case for arguing with those guys, I'm not mad. You can make a better case for Kobe being the GOAT than Kevin Durant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird.
Let me ask you a question. 2 questions. Number one, should you be in the GOAT conversation with only one MVP?
It's a possibility. But you got to have a lot of other stuff, or you have to do something that ain't been done before.
Right, that's right. We got guys with 6, we got guys with 5, we got guys with 4. You got 1. Right? So I don't know if that necessarily puts you in the GOAT conversation. Here's the second question. Can you be in the GOAT conversation if you're not considered the best at your position ever?
Yeah, that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to put you there.
It's kind of hard. Right?
It's kind of hard.
Right? The reason why we put Jordan in the GOAT conversation, obviously we know exactly what he is. He is the GOAT shooting guard. He's
no question
where everybody's trying to reach, right?
Yes.
You know. So again, I think it's again, at the end of the day, you know, what is the GOAT criteria? I'm not saying there's a specific criteria. I'm just asking a question for discussion. I don't think, I've said this for the longest, I don't think in a sport that's been around 76 years, in a league that's been around 76 years, there's a universal GOAT.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard because of the evolution of the game, of gameplay. I don't think there's a GOAT. It can't be a universal GOAT. Right? There's guys that we say in their era, they were the best in their era. They did this in their era in the time that they played. And again, for me with Kevin Durant, his era is, whether we like it or not, is superseded by LeBron and Steph.
Yep. Because I'm going to say Steph probably got a better case to be in the GOAT conversation than Kevin Durant.
Right.
I mean, I don't got Steph in the GOAT conversation, but if you had to argue, debate who more of a GOAT, you got Steph. Because Kevin Durant, what did he really do to change the game? Because he ran away from being a 7-footer because he labeled lower his height like 6'8" when he really was a 7-footer. He went away from that because he could have been like the first guy who was 7 feet who can do everything like a guard. But and I understood why he did that too, because around that time it was still like the big man era when he came in, so he didn't want to be making him play in the post, which he wasn't gonna last that long. He would have been in and out the league. So I understand that, but it's like I can't really necessarily, like you said, you're not the best at your position. You didn't do nothing really game changing. But you go that scoring for sure. I can't go farther than anything else. I can't go farther than that, Sean. I can't go farther than that at all. Yeah. But the next thing, I'm gonna pull this up too, right? Obviously, it's All-Star weekend. And then also it is the trade deadline. So, Sean, who you got could be traded on the trade deadline?
In terms of big names,
Mm-hmm.
So I would think, the only big name I think that could move, obviously, is DeJounte Murray.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there are going to be a lot of big names moving. And I'll tell you why. I think its teams are really preparing themselves for the fullness of this new CBA kicking in this, right? And they're looking at the financial implications of adding big salaries to already. If you're a first apron team or a second apron team, you're probably not looking to add a huge salary, right?
Yep.
Unless you're a team, say like Philly, for example, Philly's going to have a max cap space, a max cap slot for another player this summer, right? Because they didn't sign Tyrese Maxey to an extension. They have the cap hold on Tyrese Maxey, but they didn't sign him to an extension. Obviously, he's going to get a max contract this summer, but they did that because they wanted to hold on to the ability to add that third player potentially this summer. They could be a team that could make a move if they don't think they're going to get someone this summer. But I just don't see a lot of big names and big contracts moving like that. Not during the season. I think you may see it more this off season once teams, really know where their books are and things like that. But DeJounte Murray is the big name, but I think you might see some smaller
guys.
Yeah, I think Bruce Brown is someone I'd be on the lookout for. Bogdanovich could be on the move potentially. Kyle Kuzma would be another one I would look at. Jeremy Grant, Malcolm. So those are kind of the guys I'm looking at. But those aren't max salary guys. Those are guys that are on, pretty decent contracts. So yeah, I don't expect it to be a big name to move like that.
I was shocked that the Grizzlies moved Steven Adams. I know you just said that Steven Adams was traded today, too. I was shocked about that trade. That's the job protector.
Yeah, I wasn't, only because, again, if they're concerned about what his viability is long term, makes sense. They got 3 guys on pretty big contracts with Ja, Bane, and Triple J. They're looking at, again, new CBA, how they're going to fill out the roster. I looked at their numbers. They are just below, this summer they'll be a first apron team, which means they'll be just right below that luxury tax. I think their salary is 171. It's going to be like 178. Look at the new cap for 2024, 25. So I wasn't surprised by that move. That was a tax saving move for them. And again, obviously they'll bring in Oladipo just to stretch and wave him. His number, Steven Adams, I think, was making $12 million.
Yeah, around that year.
Oladipo's making 5.5. So that, again, and it also creates also a trade exception for them.
Yeah.
So that's the other point. So they could add in a guy with that trade exception if they want to.
Yeah. Now it also came out with and I'm gonna go down this list that I'm looking at the players that they got said that could be traded. The Bulls, you brought up the money situation. Everybody wonder why Zach LaVine's not moving, why Zach LaVine don't have no value. It's his contract. That man just signed a max extension, and who want to add $40+ million a year on your books like that? And you got to make the money match. And you got to make sure everything else in your ones and twos is good with your roster. That's why Zach is not being moved. Alex Caruso, like I told you earlier, before we used to show, Alex Caruso was getting more offers than DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. And honestly, it's no offers out there for Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has no offers at all on the table. Zach LaVine, only team that talked to him was the Pistons, and the Pistons said they wasn't giving up none of their young talent. Because I said if you call the Pistons, they say Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think it's Bojan. I think Bojan is on the. Let me see. Is it Bojan or Bo? I mean, mixed. Yes, Bojan. Bojan's on the Pistons. Yeah, Bogdan is on the Hawks. Yeah. If you give me Bojan, Jaden Ivey, and the Thompson twin and a pick, I'm gone. Y'all can have Zach right now. That's viable trade. If you had to add somebody else, take a Stewart or something to add it with it, I'm cool with that. But if we go down this list, if I had to pick, I think also I had to go like DeJounte Murray. Then looking at this list, I could see like a Bruce Brown, a Dorian Finney-Smith possibly getting moved. Especially if you a championship contender team and you need like a wing defender, I would definitely run to go get Dorian Finney-Smith. But the list goes as follows: 1, DeJounte Murray. 2, Bogdan Bogdanovic from Atlanta. 3, Zach LaVine. 4, Bojan Bogdanovic. 5, I'm shocked about this one, Cal Kuzma. Do you think possibly Cal Kuzma get traded? I don't really see Cal Kuzma getting traded. Do you?
I think they only move him if they think they can't re-sign him.
Okay.
I think that's the reason why you move him, because he's on a very good deal. He's still on the deal that he signed with the Lakers.
Low ball contract.
I think they could move him if they think they're going to lose him.
Yeah. Next on the list, Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant, you said that one. Malcolm Brogdon said that one. Bruce Brown said that one, which is crazy. They traded Bruce Brown after signing him. That's crazy. Number 9, PJ Washington. Obviously, the Hornets is making moves out there, but we ain't gonna talk about that trade. Luke Kennard of the Grizzlies.
Kennard, and again, I think that's gonna be more of a tax money thing. It's just them saying, can you pay Luke Kennard $15 million next year, given what you're paying Bane, JJ, Triple J, and
Dorian Finney-Smith. About Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. Ooh, I wouldn't mind getting a Tim Hardaway Jr. pickup, but why would the Mavericks trade Tim Hardaway Jr.?
And again, I think it's not so much they don't like him. I think it's if they can move his contract to bring in something else that they need.
$17 million a year.
Yeah. So, one thing with shooting, I mean, we know what he does in terms of spacing the floor. He's in the 6-man
conversation
right now. I think, again, it'd be just a matter of it's not that they dislike the player, it's that his contract is the one that they think they could use to bring something back.
Okay.
And obviously with Kyrie and Luka, you want to weigh that piece. Yeah.
Okay. A couple more. Andrew Wiggins. I can see Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker. And D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, PJ Tucker's interesting. I don't know. I don't see a lot of teams trading for PJ Tucker like that unless you're a team that feels like he's going to get you over the top. Like when Milwaukee brought him in, a few years ago.
Trade him back to Milwaukee.
Yeah, but yeah, Andrew Wiggins, the issue with Wiggins is obviously with the emergence of Kuminga, who they're going to have to get ready to extend. I'm not sure they're going to do it at this off season or they're going to wait a year to do it. I would think they probably might wait a year, but it's the tax bill. It's just, again, because I think this is my belief. I think they're going to re-sign Clay. And obviously needing to extend
ball out.
That Wiggins will be the odd man out.
Wiggins got to go. All right, I'm only saying this last because we got to get into the football, but I got to say this last because it's close to home to you. The next guy on the list after D'Angelo Russell at 15, your guy, Tyler Hero.
Bye-bye.
You ready for him to go?
Bye.
That's crazy.
Bye-bye. Listen, I think he is what he is. I think most, Heat fans who are realistic know he is what he is. Is Tyler Hero ever going to be an all-star? No.
No.
Is he a 20-point game scorer? Yes. But is he ever going to be an all-star? Is he ever going to be a superstar? No.
How many picks y'all got over there?
Well, we had to give up 27 protected to get Terry Rozier.
Look, give us 3 first rounders, Tyler Hero, that rookie y'all got, and then Duncan Robinson. Come on, for Zach LaVine.
No, not doing it. Not doing it. I'm not trading Triple J, the other Triple J.
Yeah, we want J. Bring Triple J over into the.
No. He's built for the Heat. No, he's built for the Heat. No, he's built
for Chicago.
He's built for the Heat. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into some football. Obviously, a lot of guys have been getting signed. One guy in particular who did not get signed, which is going to get into that after this. But all right, Sean, let's go ahead and grade all the coaches that were hired. I believe it is 8, and I'm looking at everyone here. Mm-hmm. So, dang, did I want my chart? Is my Charger shirt on this? Dang, whatever. I don't think my Charger shirt on. First up on the list, I just do my team. Jim Harbaugh. Give me the grade to the Chargers. How do you grade that coaching hire?
A.
Okay. Not an A plus?
No.
That's crazy.
No. And I'll tell you why. And it has nothing to do with Jim Harbaugh. It has nothing to do with Jim Harbaugh. The reason why I don't give it an A plus is because the Chargers have some cap things they got to work out. And you're still in the division with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Hopefully he retire.
He ain't going nowhere. Yeah, listen, Andy Reid's still having fun. So
I can dream, okay? Let me dream.
You can. But no, I think Andy Reid still is enjoying it. And obviously, you know, when you got number 15 on the other side, it's just in the division. Again, I told you I thought Jim Harbaugh should have gone to the NFC. But that one of those jobs went to someone else. But yeah, when I just look at the division and alone, it's an A. It's an upgrade. They could have hired Big Bird. It had been an upgrade from Brandon Staley. You know. So at the end of the day, it's an upgrade, but I definitely graded it as an A. Definitely graded as an A.
Yeah, we got to know because what your last statement said alone, that's why it's an A++. Because if you can say you could put Big Bird or a McDonald's drive-through worker as our head coach, and he will damn sure do a better job than the guy who was coaching us, then that answers your question. It's an A+. You get the guy that you were shooting for the whole time. It was between him and Bill Belichick, but you got Jim Harbaugh, former Charger, coming back to the only team I was concerned with that we was going to possibly lose him to, kind of NFC. I knew we were going to lose him to the Falcons. The Chicago Bears. I thought it was like the Bears. The Bears, they get a good situation. You got ties with them too. So I'm like, Harbaugh. I'm like, dang. Then they kept Eberflus. I was like, yeah, we got it. We good. So I give it an A+. I believe he's gonna bring us everything that we need. He's gonna turn us around. Yes, the cap thing is a problem, but we figure that out. He already got a great relationship with our quarterback already, so that's a good start. So just to get the guy that you wanted and to get rid of that other guy, it's an A++++ for me. Next on the list, let's go. Jared Mayo of the New England Patriots. What you grade now?
I give it a B. Give it a B. Again, I think the Patriots, obviously, we know they got talent on the defensive side. He was obviously there. He's a big part of that. But when I look at their offense, do they have one guy you say, oh, yeah, this guy definitely can be that guy offensively for them? I don't know. So I give it a B. Again, when I look at the division, the Jets, there was a story that came about the Jets being kind of a mess last season. I don't know if that fixed, even with Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. And obviously, when you have Buffalo and Miami in the division, the Patriots are all about building. I give it a B. I think they're going to be very patient with Gerard Mayo, but I give it a B. I think it's, again, a good hire. And, again, don't expect him to be who the last guy was.
No, even though they call him Gerard Belichick.
Yeah,
that's
like
his name.
No, he's gonna be who he is, true to who he is, and I give it a B. Again, I hope that Patriots fans are patient because it's a build. They got a build. So, but I give it a B.
I'm gonna go into the B range too because once I did my research and did the background check, I understand that pretty much he was behind Belichick under Belichick system. Pretty much he was like the young guy next up, so they was grooming him and preparing him for this spot. So I think they gonna come in with a game plan. It wasn't just like, all right, we got this guy who got to fill Bill Belichick's shoes, who coming from left field, like, you know what I'm saying, like the guy from Washington who's taking Nick Saban's spot, you know what I'm saying, taking Nick Saban. That's like, it'd be different if they had like somebody who was like through the Alabama ties and somebody who was behind him ready to go. So it's like they was already preparing him. So that's why I give it a B, because I feel like he's not going to be Belichick 100%. Right. But I feel like he can infuse some of the things that Bill Belichick did his way, maybe a younger version of it, and then he keep the same developmental and the focus of the team and keep the same integrity of the Patriots way to do things. So that's why I give it a B. I feel like that's why I give it a B. Let's go Raheem Morris of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, you was more raving on this pick. I thought this was by far Bill Belichick, straightforward. I'm not too much tuned in with him. Where did he come from again? I'm sorry, I have to try to remember off the top of the head.
So Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator for the Rams the last 2 years. Before that, he was in Atlanta as the assistant head coach. He was their defensive coordinator 1 year, and he was a wide receivers coach before that. He's been a previous head coach, was the head coach in Tampa for 3 years when he was 32. When he was young, 32. So, So
for me, I will, before now, I'm going to just say like C plus B minus range because of those things he's had. And then you raved to him about me like, yeah, he's pretty good. That was the right hire. But because I just thought they was going to go all in with Bill Belichick when you got a chance to get Bill Belichick. So that's why I was kind of iffy on it. So I'm going to go C plus. C plus.
This one is an A for me. When you look at his career and what he's done the last several years, he has absolutely earned the right to be a head coach again. He coordinated that Rams defense that won the Super Bowl. And the Rams defense this year, just real quick off the top of your head, can you name anybody on the Rams defense outside of Aaron Donald? Just off the top of your head.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So you look at what he did with that. And when I look at the construction, I was higher on Atlanta last year, part because of how they built their defense. And if they could have got just decent quarterback play from Desmond Ridder, I thought they were going to win the division. They obviously didn't. But yeah, for me,
I don't trust Ram defensive coordinators. You know, I got PTSD from Rams.
Yeah, sorry, yes. But also, again, when I go back to what he did in Atlanta, he was a wide receivers coach. When Julio Jones was killing it, that was his wide receivers coach. And he was a big part of that success in that Dan Quinn era. He was Super Bowl, but he was a part of that success in the Dan Quinn era. So to me, it makes sense. And you've given the way their front office and their team structure is built, he's the right guy to come in and do what they got to do. And I'll also give it an A because he hired Zach Robinson, who was the quarterback's coach and passing game coordinator for the Rams, to be the offensive coordinator. Okay. It's a big get when you look at the talent they have. They get a quarterback, and they ain't got to get the greatest quarterback in the world. You just get a good, solid quarterback, they're going to be on their way. So
it could be a guy that's in Chicago that could be their quarterback. And I said if he finds a way to Atlanta,
could be.
Oh boy, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. Salute Khalil Burke. Salute KB.
Yeah, salute Khalil. Said Jim Harbaugh bring in Connor Stallion and the sign stealing cars. All right, Khalil. Look, Khalil. We're about, hey man, make sure Deshaun Watson getting the massages on his injuries, man. Make sure he all right, man. Make sure all right. Okay, next on the list, Antonio Pierce of the Raiders. I give this one an A. I give this more of an A because of how he turned around the Raiders, and the Raiders players vouched for him. So he got the locker room already won. And shout out to Raiders ownership for actually listening to the players and doing what the players actually wanted, and to keep the camaraderie of the team together. And it was to the point where Crosby even said, if he wasn't there, I'm asking for a trade. So because of what he did at the end of the season and how he got the players so much behind him that they'll run through a brick wall for him, I'm giving this an A. And I don't like the Raiders to even give them a good grade. I should just give them an F because it's the Raiders, but I'm going to be honest. I got to give this move an
A. Yeah, so I give this one a B minus. I like Antonio Pierce. Doesn't have a lot of coaching experience. So, you know, I think the key for him is going to be what kind of staff he builds. Is Aiden O'Connell your automatic quarterback for next year, or are you bringing in a veteran guy, or are you drafting a guy in the first round?
That's out there.
You know, so I think that's going to be key for them. But this to me goes back to, you know, a couple of years ago when they made the playoffs and they had Rich Bisaccia as their interim coach after they fired an idiot, racist Gruden, and made the playoffs, and they didn't keep Bisaccia, and they went out and got, you know, Josh McDaniels, aka the fraud.
Fraud.
And, you know,
he only could coach where he cheating.
Yeah. So to me, this was that was why that decision was made. Again, he did a good job taking over, you know, for basically a rough situation. But, you know, let's see, you know, what he does. But yeah, I give it a B minus.
B minus, yeah.
And again, you know, you're in a very tough division, not just from a talent standpoint, but with a coaching standpoint. And you got to be able to match wits with, you know, three of the best really to ever do it in Harbaugh and obviously Andy Reid. So I give it a B minus.
B minus. Okay. I don't know why the Commanders one was not up here because it was they got Dan Quinn, right? That's what they hired, right? Dan Quinn. Okay, we got Tennessee, Carolina, Seahawks, and then we're gonna go through these quicker. We'll be all day. Okay, Dan Quinn for the Commanders. What grade you giving it?
I gave it a B plus. I know a lot of people were not happy with it, but I think it's two things that people aren't considering. Number one, you weaken the Cowboys in your division, right? He was the one that was coordinating that defense that was playing up to you know, very well during the regular season. Obviously, we know what happened against Green Bay. But at the end of the day, you know, you weaken the Cowboys, and you know, and again, Dan Quinn did a really good job in Atlanta.
Yeah, he did. It was solid.
And again, and I heard people talking about, oh yeah, they got to get an offensive guy because they got the second pick of the draft, and you getting a quarterback in the draft. Well, hold on, let's pause for a moment. SB, what side of the ball did DeMeco Ryans come from?
Defensive.
Right. What pick number was CJ Stroud in the draft?
2.
Right. Could they not be trying to do the same thing that Houston's doing?
Yeah, but you ain't got the talent that Houston got. Houston got something to work with. That line is solid.
No, I'm just saying this whole thing of you got to get an offensive guy because you got the number 2 pick in the draft. If that's the case, Houston doesn't hire DeMeco Ryans.
Yep.
Right. Like, don't do that. Get the right person to build a program. Get the right person who leads people. Get the right person who creates a culture. I don't care if they come from the offensive or defensive side of the ball. Get a culture builder and get the right offensive coordinator to hopefully coach your number 2 pick, who will likely be a quarterback, and you'll be on your way.
Hopefully, they're hoping the Bears screw up and don't take Caleb Williams. They hoping for that. But for me, quick grade on it. I give it like C plus B minus ish. Like you said, got to see what he got to do. Obviously, like he said, with the Cowboys defense did a good job, but it's more of like what the Commanders got going on. So you're going into a bad situation, but let's see what he can do. Only good thing that he could probably got is that their division is so wishy-washy. Like some years they look nice, next year they look trash. So it just depends. Seahawks, Mike McDonald.
I gave this one an A minus.
A minus. Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah, I gave it A minus. Again, not a lot of coaching experience, but obviously we've seen what he's done the last few years in Baltimore. He was in Michigan for a year as their defensive coordinator, did a good job there. The Seahawks defense has been their weak link the last couple of years. No, he's going to fix that. He made a smart move. He brought in Leslie Frazier to be the head coach. I don't know if he's going to help coordinate the defense or not, but
hopefully
they got a good offense in place in Seattle. Even and obviously we know Geno Smith, what he can do, and what DK and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Tyler Lockett and Kenneth Walker got some pieces. Fix the defense. And I think he will fix the defense. Again, it's tough division because you still got the Niners and you have the Rams who are competitive, and the Cardinals played really competitive this year, even though obviously,
the quarterback came late, so that's why. But
I think I gave it an A-.
So you think this hire is to try to bring back not the Legion of Boom, but the identity of the Legion of Boom ball, like we use when you come, because usually when you play Seattle, the first thing you always think about, like, you gotta worry about the defense every time. The defense is gonna give you a tough time. Always been the Seahawk way. So do you think that's what this hire was, to bring back that type of identity? Let's lock back up on the defensive side of the ball.
I think it was that, but also I think he's a young guy. He's only 36. He's the youngest head coach in the NFL. I think they view as a long-term hire, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it ultimately leads to.
Yeah, just to be quick on, I gave it a B. I just got to, like you said, with the experience, I just got to see it. If this what he do this, bring that indie back, then I grade it higher. But like you said, like to go with the young route. Like you said, you maybe want a younger voice in. Maybe you think Pete Carroll's too old, so you want to bring a younger guy in. Then you want to bring back the identity of that. I'm cool with that, but I'm not too high, not too low. So I'll go B for this one. David Canales. I know I'll say his name wrong all the goddamn time, but the Panthers move. What you grade now?
C.
Yeah, I'm about it. Ain't moved me like, oh yeah, you hired Dave. It ain't moved me nothing. It's a lot of things going wrong in Carolina, and I don't think he can fix that overnight.
Yeah, I think he, again, that move was about, making sure you're helping Bryce Young, but 52 other guys on that roster. So, so it's a great move for Bryce Young, but again, it's not just about, helping your quarterback. You got to fix that roster. And again, culture. Can he build a culture?
You gotta get a culture builder over there. You got to get somebody who can change something, or if not, free Brian Burns and free JC Horn. Free them. We could, the Lions. If I'm the Lions, I might be trying to call. You need a DB. Go get JC Horn or something. And then I believe the Titans is last. Brian Callahan. That's who Brian Callahan. Yeah. And you even quick, because I know we've been talking about the other guy who didn't get a job. Are you surprised that their old coach didn't get hired? Mike didn't get the job offer?
No, not surprised.
Oh, well, excuse me. I'm sorry. But what you think about Brian Callahan for the Titans move?
C.
Not moving you. None. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of say those two for last because I was just like, if there was anything. So obviously, with all the coaches being hired, right? Coaches didn't get hired. Obviously, when we heard that Bill Belichick was leaving the Patriots, we thought, besides maybe Jim Harbaugh, he was the hottest name on the market. Well, we was wrong, because Bill Belichick is not going to get a job offer at all, unless, I don't know, maybe if the 49ers choke, maybe take his spot. I know we're talking about if the Chiefs, if Andy Reid retired, which I doubt it, would he take his spot? But what is next for Bill Belichick with no job offer? Tommy ain't got no job.
Well, I think obviously, he gets a chance to do television this year. I think, if you watched him do the NFL 100 series, he was really good. That. So I would expect.
I liked that.
I think he would definitely be doing, television. Obviously, when you think about not just football knowledge of, game plan and coaching and all that stuff, but just his history of the game. He would be good. He was actually funny.
In his way.
Yeah, so I think definitely television. I think he didn't get hired for some very obvious reasons. And and you and I went back and forth about this. I think you bring him in, you got to be willing to basically tear up your whole front office structure and build it the way he would want it, because he would want that level of control. Right. And I just think teams were willing to do that for a guy who's really a short-term option. If you really think about it, was he going to coach 2-3 more years, maybe? So you don't want to tear up your front office just to turn around and have to rebuild it again. So I think, that's what we'll see, is he'll be doing television. And then if an opportunity comes open in 2025, because again, coaching jobs come open every year. There's some lame duck coaches out there, one in Dallas, for example.
I see that Dallas job looking nice.
I think that Dallas job would be where I would see Bill Belichick in 2025, because we know the Cowboys are not winning the Super Bowl next year.
Oh, no, they're not. They're not. It's going to be the same cycle repeat. We're going to get the same thing all the time. No. Cowboys start, they complain. They go on a little win streak. We them boys. We the boys. We here. This is the year for the Cowboys. Go to the playoffs, choke, rinse and repeat. It's the same thing with the Cowboys all the time. Yeah. I've been to say, was you shocked at the end, but you already said you wasn't shocked. I was kind of shocked they didn't get an offer. I thought Atlanta would have been great, or at least the Commanders, because I know you thought maybe if you go to Commanders, I think you say you worry about that you got a clean house. When you got a bad organization like that and it's Bill Belichick, you trying to get that championship foundation, you got a clean house. But if you're going to clean house, put somebody behind him that's learning and growing. So when he gone in those 2-3 years, because he just going for the record, he won the 15 wins and another Super Bowl. Then you got the other guy ready, and he already got the same system established that y'all built, especially if you win a championship. He could go right up behind that and just keep building up on it instead of tearing everything down. That's the only way I say do it. But quick, because Monday show, we didn't do a show Monday, so I wanted to get our quick reaction to the conference championship game. But let's go right up back. Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid destroys the Ravens defense, which I was very shocked about. And where was the MVP Lamar Jackson? For me, when I was watching that game, masterclass by Andy Reid on both sides of the ball. And a lot of people, and I was mad because I hit everything on my parlays besides the Lamar Jackson over on yards. But a lot of people tried to say, oh, the Ravens tried to make him a pocket passer. No, the Kansas City Chiefs did a great job of containing Lamar Jackson. They ran spy probably 65, 70% of the game, and they kept him in the box. They made Lamar Jackson a pocket-only passer. Show us you can beat us to run the ball. That's literally how the Chiefs played that game, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out for him at all. On the offensive side of the ball, obviously Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, dynamic duo. You got 15 on that side of the ball. He's gonna do his thing. But what I like what Andy Reid they did, the time possession of what they did, the way they dissected that Ravens defense, which I thought it was gonna make it harder for them. They tired the defense out. They dominated the ball. Lamar Jackson didn't see as many snaps as Patrick Mahomes did. The defense got different type of actions. And shout out Pachinko, who they was running through that Ravens defense. I expected more for this Ravens defense, because that's the reason why I thought these guys were going to win, because they defense. But once their defense got taken out of play, it was over for those guys. But Patrick Mahomes, man, and Andy Reid does it again. And he finna win again, too. But we'll say that for next week's show. But, yeah.
No, I think,
what was your reaction to the game?
So I thought the difference in the game was Steve Spagnuolo coming out with a great game plan. I think he saw the game the week before, watched the film from the Houston game. Houston did some things in the first half in terms of disguising the looks and what they were bringing. Baltimore did a good job of making adjustments in the second half. But the difference in the game to me was the untimely penalties, and the turnovers. I know a lot of people talked about the interception Lamar threw in the end zone.
That was a terrible pass.
It was not the best pass, but it was actually, if you go back and you watch it, it was the right read, because the defender had his back to Likely.
Likely got a 3 people coverage pass was the right read.
The coverage converged. He had him, again, but it was a converged coverage. And also, it should have been a defensive holding on Kansas City. They got away with a hold. And again, you could have called pass interference as well, because the ball was in the air on the hold. But So I know a lot of people, complain about that, obviously. But the big thing in the game to me was the Ravens kept beating themselves with the untimed penalties, right? You got to get off the field, right? You cannot kill yourself with the untimely penalties.
Yep.
And and Kansas City proves Kansas City that doesn't generally beat themselves. You have
they never. You got to beat Kansas City.
And
that's part of the. I'm not trying to get into it, but that's part of the reason why I just said. It's a done deal. It's a done deal.
So, but again, I'm gonna just say this real quick because I know we're not gonna talk about them next week. You know who the Ravens are to me, SB?
Oh.
They are the 89 and 90 Bulls.
I see why you say that, because you feel like they just on the cusp of it. They just need to take that next leap. Well, Lamar better just learn how to be a pocket passer. Then just practice that only, and then when you add that with your running ability, when you could just dot every pass you need to make consistently, not always in the rhythm, then maybe I don't know.
They're that team that's ready to break through if they do what they got to do. But they feel like that late 80s, early 90s Bulls, like, they're close. They're coming. They just need that chance to break through. Remember, this is their first AFC Championship game with them. They're going to be right back in the hunt next year. They got a lot. They got some decisions to make. I don't know if they bring Jay back, especially not the number they paid him this year.
No.
But do they go out and get a Mike Evans, for example, in free agency? Or do they do they draft another receiver complement Zay Flowers long term? But to me, they are that 89 90s Bulls team. They're close, but they just need to take that.
Take that next step. I heard your boy want to stay in Tampa. I mean, he already got a ring, so and then he go get his styles regardless in Tampa. So he might not want to break that record. Also, then we had another game where the Lions. I have never in my life seen somebody put on a master class coaching in the first half and then just turn into a dumpster fire in the second half. Dan Campbell sold the Lions Super Bowl chance. I'm sorry. The Lions should have won that game by far easily. I don't want to hear everybody come up saying like, oh, Cal Shanahan does what he does. It just came back in the second half. It came with a masterclass coach. No, he did. The Lions literally gave that game away. You're literally up. They lost by 3. 2 of them field goals he could have hit. That's the game. 4th and 2, you're up. Why are you going for it? Take your money. You're up. I get it. You're trying to put the nail in the coffin of this one more touchdown, but you gotta. It's a sin in the Bible to tell you don't be greedy, and you don't need to play with your food. And sometimes it's gonna come back and bite you in the butt. That man, Dan Campbell, went from like Belichick, Andy Reid coaching in the first half. Then he went to Brandon Staley in the second half. I don't know what happened. And this is the second time the 49ers should have lost the game. And they just luckily, by the skin of their teeth, get out of there because they should have probably lost to the Packers. Look, dumb things happen. But this game, they should have definitely lost this game. But what was your reaction to this Lions game? And did Campbell sell them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Twitter said, Dan will go. Come on, bro. Dan Gamble.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah, exactly. You found, don't shoot yourself in the foot. When I was watching the game, I'm sitting there watching the game. My buddy was over. We were watching the game in the first half, and they had the ball. It was 4th and goal on the 2-yard line before the end of the first half. And he was like, my buddy was like, "Do you go for it?" I said, "Yeah, you go. You've been rolling. Go."
No, yeah.
Even if you miss, you still, you still are up 2 touchdowns going into halftime. So yeah, go. And knowing they get the ball to start the second half. So to me, it was the opposite decision when they decided not to be aggressive and go for it on 4th and goal.
It made sense to go for it.
But then here it is, it's 4th and 2. And, you're basically throwing a pass to Josh Reynolds, who couldn't catch anything to save his life. And my whole thing is, again, if you're going to go for it, why is 14 not getting the ball?
he was, man. Look, hey, when you ever see the commercial, the insurance company say, "Are you in good hands?" That's State Brown. Why is you not? Anytime it's go for it, y'all should know where the ball going.
Right.
Ain't no way I'm drawing on no play for no Josh Riddle. Give St. Brown the ball. He gonna catch it.
So and again, I think, and again, it was like, in the second half where it's like, okay, yeah, listen, you gotta take the points here. You see them creeping back in the game. The Gibbs fumble was obviously costly.
That was bad.
It was just they had a couple penalties that cost them. The ball bouncing off the helmet of the DB and into Ayuk's hands, cost. So I mean, it was just everything that could have gone wrong in the second half went wrong, and you could tell that he didn't know how to get it under control.
Yep.
And then so late in the game, it's third down, and they're on third and goal, and they got 3 timeouts left, and they make the decision to run the football, having to use one of their timeouts.
And let the clock run.
And so again, basically you're basically telling them you got to go for the onside kick. Well, if you got 3 timeouts, you don't necessarily have to go for the onside kick. You can still kick deep and use your 3 timeouts and get the ball back in potential range. So it was just the mismanagement of the game that was very concerning. That said, if you're a Lions fan, you had a great season. You got the championship game, but you cannot cost yourself like that in a game like that. You have to play to win the game, but you have to manage the game to win the game.
Be smart.
And they just didn't manage the game well, in my opinion.
No, yeah. Like I said, it was like I was watching 2 there. How bad he coached that game in that second half is why people think the NFL is rigged. Because it's like I just feel like he just gave the game away. I just feel like he literally just like, you can have it. Yeah. You can have it. He gave it to the 49ers. It was bad. But speaking of the 49ers too, Cam Newton doubles down on what he said by saying Cam Newton calls Brock Purdy the 10th best player on the 49ers ahead of Super Bowl 58, doubling down on his statement of calling him a game manager. And I'm sorry to tell y'all guys this, Cam Newton's not wrong. He is 100%. You count both sides of the ball, he might be the 10th best player. He might be lower than that on the list. If you really look at Chris McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels, got Trent Williams, you got Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. Yeah. I mean, it's Ayuk. I'm trying to think. It's Chase. I don't know. Chase was jogging on the plays, but I still say Chase might be. You can argue Chase, but it's not like when people say this about Brock Purdy. It's not a bad thing, bro. It's cool to be a game manager. He ain't. This is my question for everybody who's getting mad at what Cam Newton was saying. Would you pay Brock Purdy max quarterback dollars? And if you knew with him doing that, you would possibly lose Deebo Samuels. Just example. If you give Brock Purdy this money, you lose Deebo Samuels, Fred Warner, Ayuk, Chase Young. Is it worth giving Brock Purdy that money? And if you saying no, exactly, it's no. It's no. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're not gonna get a Patrick Mahomes situation where it's like, all right, I lose Tyreek Hill, one of the most dynamic scoring options, and I can still win and be dynamic. He's not that type of guy. It ain't nothing wrong with him not being that type of guy. That's the problem y'all have. Totally cool. I agree with Cam Newton, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think he said I'm wrong.
No, he didn't.
Last one. Caleb Williams, the Bears and the Caleb Williams dramas keep going. So it came out earlier today. All the sites were saying he didn't want to go to the Bears. He didn't want to go to the Bears. He didn't want to go to the Bears. Then he called, I guess, Colin Cohart got in contact with his camp, and they said that he's not anti-Bear. He just want to make sure everything is right. But then also, I was doing my more research. I found out that he had a request, a stern request, that if you draft me at 9, you have to draft a receiver. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, again, my thing has always been, if you take a quarterback, You bring a quarterback in, you do everything in your power to make sure they're comfortable, right? And and if you're the Bears, and again, I know they got DJ Moore and obviously Mooney, who are solid receivers. Obviously, DJ Moore is really, really good. But Caleb Williams, I want a young receiver with me to build with. Obviously, Marvin Harrison won't be there. Maybe he's lobbing for his guy Brandon Rice, who again I think could be there in the second round. Likely will be there in the second round.
That's what I thought. That's what he wanted, but I wouldn't. I'm not taking Brandon Rice at number 9. That's
no. You're not. And again, I think could it be Keon Coleman from Florida State?
Could be the tight end from Georgia.
Could be the tight end from Georgia at 9, as well. Obviously him and Komet could be a nice duo together. But I think you do everything in your power to make sure Caleb Williams is comfortable if you're taking him at 1. But you do that with any quarterback that you're bringing in.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You kind of have to. You because like you said, C.J. Stroud wanted Tank Dell.
Right.
Joe Burrow wanted Jamar Chase. You kind of got to get your guy what he wants. So I will let him know because we know he wants Bryce. Hey, look, at 9, we ain't gonna take no receiver. But what we can do is in a second round pick where he's projected to go, or you thinking anybody we would trade if it gets to a point close to our second round pick, we thinking somebody else might try to get him. We'll trade up to go get him. That's it. Besides that, I say no. But yeah, you kind of do that with your quarterbacks. That is this show, Sean. Appreciate everybody, guys. Appreciate every one of you guys watching, rocking with us. I know we went a little bit over our usual time, but we missed the show Monday. We had to catch up on everything, so it was cool. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. And Sean, the reason why I was over here looking crazy because I couldn't find a player is episode 48.
I got one.
Okay, who you got? Because I don't have one. I was here looking.
Yeah, Stephen Davis. Running back, played for the Washington, Carolina, went to Auburn, was a beast of a running back. So Stephen Davis, number 48.
Stephen Davis. Yeah. I don't got one. I'm saying like a lot of baseball players for sure. 48 is a weird number.
Yeah.
48 is a weird number.
Yeah, Torrey Hunter is a good one. MC Robinson said Torrey Hunter.
Torrey Hunter, that's a good pick. Baseball, Torrey Hunter is a good pick.
Yeah.
Graham. I was gonna pick someone like Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree. Yeah, Jacob DeGrom mentioned good pick. Yeah, so 48.
You said you picked Stephen Davis. Yeah, 48. Interesting.
Yeah, Stephen Davis. Yeah.
Torrey Hunter is a good pick. I see somebody Lee Smith, baseball player.
Yes, Lee Smith. Pitcher. Yeah.
Jacob DeGrom. Jacob DeGrom is a good pick. We go with them. I'm going to go Jacob DeGrom. Let's do that. Yep, man. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Catch you guys on Monday. We'll be back at it again and see what is going on. This is Real Takes Over Fade Debates. SB and Sean Webb. And we are out of here.
Man.